All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol SNDL, Sundial Growers Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back. And as we jump into this chart, I do want every single investor and viewer to be aware that I have a ticker symbol you won't want to miss. We've talked about it twice already in less than a month, and it's already 2x in less than 2 weeks. So I highly encourage you guys to stay tuned to the end. And if you already have seen it, stay tuned so you can see everything that I have to talk about and the forward outlook potential. And I also am going to ask you guys, everyone that has already been aware of it and added it to their watch list, how do you feel about it and what have you seen the chart do and how it makes you feel? So stay tuned to the end. And this is a good one for every single investor and viewer that has not watched it yet or seen it, because the potential is still there. And there's a lot of room moving forward. This is definitely one you want to add to your radar and keep on your watch list. So let's see here what's going on with SNDL, Sundial Growers Inc. And we'll talk about that ticker symbol towards the end of this video. So what a run, right? This broke through resistance and hit newer highs. And now we are sitting at 164 as the market's about to close in the next 30 minutes. And we have to see how this is going to react post-market. It's going to be pretty interesting to see if it can hold itself or build some momentum off of that and continue upwards. But right now, I think one of the most important things going for SNDL is the fact that SNDL is holding itself up above $1. We talked about that yesterday. It's doing really good and it was looking pretty healthy. So let's look at our new support and let's look at our new resistance level here as this plays out. So let's go ahead and look at these points of reference. I want every single investor to be aware of, and we need to watch it carefully. So here we are with the 50-day moving average, 130. Anything above 130, bullish territory. Anything below it, bearish territory. For this to continue, the bulls definitely need to break through resistance. Now, before we talk about our support here, I do want to talk about a midway point here, and that is 148. This is another great support level to look at, to dissect the chart and see how the stock is reacting. If the bulls are able to reappear, if it breaks through the support, or are the bears tearing this one down fairly fast? And if it gets broken through 148, you can look at it between 148 and 130, how it's reacting as well, to see if the bulls are trying to reappear within those areas, or are the bears just tearing this one down in the downward direction. So very important. But the first support level to look closely at is 158. 158 is important because it's the first support level within the last couple of hours, and it's the lowest point reached in this sideways movement after such a bullish run. So if 158 gets broken through, we definitely want to watch it carefully and how it's reacting between 158, 148, and see if the bulls are trying to reappear or are the bears tearing this one down fairly fast. Now, on the other hand, we have what the bulls want, and they need to break through this. This is our resistance level and the highest point that the stock has reached recently, and highest point that we've seen it reach out of all the bullish runs since even last year, when this was all the way up at these points here, all the way back to about February and January. Those were the highest points. We have not seen these numbers before. So it's been over a year that it's seen anywhere near this, and it still has a lot more room to go according to the history of the chart if the bulls continue to pull through. But right now, they need to break through 175, turn it into a support, and pull away from it to reach newer highs and new resistance levels. As always, if you guys found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community. And don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watch this video. Stay tuned to the end because the ticker symbol I'm about to talk about is one you don't want to miss, and you definitely want to have it on your watch list. So for everyone that has stayed to this point in the video, the ticker symbol I'm about to share with you guys is a reiteration of the previous stock graphs and also where the stock was and where it's at now. So I think this is the second time I talk about this one in less than a month, and I really want every single investor and viewer to be aware of this one, especially the new coming investors and subscribers. I don't want you guys to miss this one. And For every single subscriber that missed it in the previous videos, if you're having the chance to watch it now, I really want you guys to be aware of this company and do your due diligence and do your research and further digging to understand this ticker symbol and the potential moving forward. So the ticker symbol is CLNE, right? So let's go ahead and pick it up here. Let's see if it pops up. Clean Energy Fuels Corporation. Now, in less than a month, it has actually risen, right? From about $10 all the way up to highs here of almost $19. That's almost 100% gain. But let's just go ahead and say it from $10, right? Forget about the $10.45. We talked about it before that. We talked about it right here at $10.998. So $10 to $18.70, that's 87% gain. Okay? And there's so much more room still for this stock. This stock has been growing exponentially over time. I know that when you look at it, you're like, oh, well, there's going to be a point where this is going to drop. Well, we went through one of the massive drops right here after it took off where I was talking about it. This was the first time I went ahead and mentioned it, January 22nd. And I said, okay, we might see it cool off and go a little bit lower. We want to look for some consolidation, and then it can start to hit newer highs. Well, it took off after that, soon after, and it hit 12, came back down to 10, and a lot of investors already saw 12, and they said, okay, 12 is possible. So now we need to get to 12, and we need to break through 12. Well, that certainly happened. It brought itself right back up, slightly above it, brought itself back down to 12, and now it took off to 18. So the question is, could this go ahead and consolidate up here? Could we see this pull back somewhere in the middle of this? That's totally possible and healthy for the way the chart has been acting to this point. I want every single investor to be aware of all these consolidation periods and runs up. These are very healthy signs of a growing stock, okay? So it's clearly showing that. Now you have to do your due diligence and research, because now we're talking about it again at its highest point. We've talked about it at one of its highest points here when it was at 10, and it had recently hit 12, 11 and some change. So it was still showing signs that there could be some room, and analysis ratings were also looking pretty good. So now we've hit new highs. So analysis ratings need to be reiterated and upgraded. And then we also need to see for consolidation or a pullback, but obviously not coming back down to 12, somewhere in the middle. And if it does come back to 12, may it consolidate in 12, and then from there on out, hit newer highs and new resistance levels for this stock to continue this exponential growth. But the potential here going into the year and the coming years is phenomenal, and there's so much room here for this to continue. But from January 22nd till now, 87% growth is pretty phenomenal and interesting to me. So I wanted to go ahead and ask those of you that have found out about this since the first time I talked about it to this point, how have you felt about the graph? Did you add this to your watch list? Have you kept it on your radar? Did you add it to your watch list but disregarded it? All right, I want to ask these questions to you guys. All the viewers coming across this for the first time, I would encourage you to go ahead and do your due diligence and research. And just by looking at the graph, how does it make you feel? Do you see that this can continue to run? Do you see a pullback and consolidation? But the way it's been acting, do you think that this can repeat itself, right? But onto newer highs, like beyond this. So like if we were able to copy and paste this, but starting off at 18, can you see this type of distance and growth getting attached here beyond the next coming months and also year? So I wanted to ask that question to you guys, because that's what you really need to think about when you look at a graph, right? What is it acting like before? And could it repeat that same process moving forward to newer highs and new resistance levels? Obviously, the volatility of the stock market is always going to exist. There's been up and downs throughout this whole process. But if it can continue doing that behavior, there's room here for this to continue to probably 2x from where it is now, because we've almost 2x from where we talked about it in just weeks, and it's actually gone ahead in 9x, right? Almost 10x from way down here, these lows in November. So very interesting stuff. I wanted to ask that to all you guys that are watching, every single investor and viewer. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.